What up? I'm back coming off the Astros opening week series. The two series stretching over 7 games against the Angles and the Red Sox. Holy cow, what a home opener. They got us in the first half of the first 2 games, but completely turned it around as far as the vibes are going right now. So, yeah, probably a quick one, but just dropping in quick temperature check. Holy moly. Um, Again, first 2 games, opening against the Angels were pretty similar and vibes way down. And if you're checking social medias, it is the end of times have finally come, apparently, of massive overreactions, but to be expected, I suppose. Um, yeah, dropped the game 3-0 and then 6-2. A lot of the same stuff. Offense not really getting a lot done. A lot of pressure on your pitching staff and the pitchers working pretty hard early on. This felt very familiar in the sense, here we go again, right? Offense isn't going to produce, and you're just going to have to hope that your pitchers can keep it close and try to avoid any blemishes to see if you can sneak out a win. Did not feel great. And Mike Trout was on an absolute tear. Yeah, but not the case at all for quite a while. Game 3, winning 9-11, and these first 4 innings felt very similar to those first 2 games until the fifth and the sixth came around, and they're starting to get some runs on the board and then absolutely go berserk with an 8 spot, and doing enough to just close the door shut. They had a little bit of a shakiness towards the end of them scoring 3. It was 6-11 going into that, but because your offense produced so much, your bullpen and your team can just relax, breathe, take it easy, and say, you know what, like let's just keep it going. Let's just keep pitching to them, and you got a good defense behind you, and take care of business and get out of there. So, just holy cow. In the past season, they've had moments where they kind of have this offensive success, and then you're thinking, okay, the 10-run curse or whatever, they're gonna put this much up, and they're gonna come and lay a dud next game. Nope. They came back the next day, and they were kind of dealing again on the offensive side. Um, they go up early with 4, and unfortunately, Tatsuya Imai's debut, not great. Seemed like he was maybe a little nervous or whatever. Ends up giving up 4, and he only goes 2 2/3. Um, and then that following inning, they go up 2. So quickly, taking the lead 4-0, and then 2 innings later, you're going down by 2 runs. It just does not feel good. But the offense came back and tied it back up that following inning with 2 runs, and then we're tied again, and then bang, they come back in the 8th, and they're finding the that offense success to take you to the end. And I mean, no longer are they matching. They're putting up 3. They come back, and I believe this is a home run in the 9th that they scored. I'm not going to look too deep on the situations on how it played out, but again, your offense gave you enough breathing room to where if you need to make some changes, I think there was a little bit concern with Brian King. It was either this game or the last one. I think it was this one because they pitched him back to back. But hey, it's all good. We'll just bring in Brian King, just handle business, and bang, 2 strikeouts, and keeps it moving. And so you come out of that like, all right, well, not bad, not great. You ended on a really good note. However, it wasn't clean, and you're thinking, all right, got the home opening series out of the way, but we're going against the Red Sox, and you're gonna play face some better pitching and some grittier, just ball players compared to the Angels on paper. And bang, 1-8. Holy cow! This is McCullers' debut, and just absolutely went in there, vintage throwback McCullers, just absolutely nuts. Gives you 7 innings and only gives up 1 run, and just absolute stud of just nuts, just absolutely nuts. And this game in general just felt like throwback vintage peak Astros, man. You had Correa playing short. He made a stellar play. Just Altuve just locked in, I guess, and is just playing great defense again, and is just taking incredible at bats. And yeah, just absolute throwback. And what I love to see from the offense is it's just consistent stacking up some runs. And on top of that, piggybacking off of an incredible performance by McCullers. So you just had two things great going at once. And McCullers, I'm sure, had a ton of pressure, especially if you watch the first couple innings. He's taking really deep breaths and trying to just, you know, I'm sure he's carrying a lot of what he's had to deal with up to this point. But oh my God, it's just epic, just epic. Like this was just such a really just a perfect game almost, compared to carrying all the woes from last season and how the first series went. Kind of not sure how it would go, but no, dude, it was just across the board, just as good of a game as you could ask for. Just epic, man. Um, so yeah, snatching the first game, and then boom, they come back again, 9-2 win. And Hunter Brown coming back for his second go around, and just kind of vintage Hunter Brown, I guess. His first series goes 4-2 against the Angels, but kind of going back to this, the first go around for the starting rotation outside of McCullers was there were some good things to be optimistic about, but there was all a point here or there to have concern. And I would say the biggest concern with Hunter Brown is that he didn't go very long. It wasn't very efficient and worked a lot. Came out there with 102 pitches, and so had a lot of strikeouts. But coming back and 78, which I think they kind of cut it a little short just because of how much he worked in that first game. But he took you 6 innings, which is incredible. Both the starts from Lance McCullers and Hunter Brown being super efficient, taking you that deep, and then Weiss coming in behind McCullers in the first game, and then Bolton, who they brought up from the minors after they sent, I think it was Roa, after they sent Roa down, because that first series against the Angels, their bullpen was super taxed, and so for you to come back and to just be very efficient and not have to use a lot of your arms, Bolton comes in, takes care of business. And again, your offense is giving you so much breathing room to where it's like, hey, it's all good, dude. Just go in there and pitch your butt off, go after guys, and trust that this defense and this offense is gonna do their part to, um, you know, make it a little bit easier on you. So just nuts, just absolutely nuts. So the good times were rolling. They're bang, bang, bang. Just keep it going. And who is this offense? Again, vintage 11, 9, 8, 9. Holy cow. Then we go into for the sweep. Granted, it's probably the most closest, but 4-6 win. Come on, dude. Like this is just incredible. And Mike Burrows comes back around. He gets he gets knocked a little bit early on, but I think he settled really well, and gives you six strikeouts. So not the worst, not the best, I guess, but again, a lot of things to be excited about for sure. But with your offense kind of helping you out versus his first go around, the game two, game two, it's a little bit of a different story. He gets a couple more hits on him, but when your offense is giving you those runs to kind of settle down a little bit more, I think it definitely goes a lot. Um, goes a long way. And then because their guys are so rested, they can just, hey, let's get our other guys in here because they've had a lot of rest. Blue Ball King, Tang, Bray, right? They all come in, take care of business. So um, this one was a little bit more back and forth. This was the game that Crochet was in. So for the Red Sox, Suarez, I think, was still carrying some spring training. Not quite there yet. Bayo, definitely good pitchers, but I don't think, this is the one you circle to say, all right, you know, they've been on a tear. Let's see how they go in against projected top three pitcher in the game, runner up to Cy Young. In the AL, I got to him early and then just kept hitting. Got 6 hits on him, 5 runs. Um, yeah, I mean, just a crazy series, man. And you get the sweep. Just absolutely, stumbled out of the gates in the first two, but we'll see if they can keep this going because it's try not to get too high, not get too low. Especially again going back these first two games, it was really low, and it felt like here we go again. It's the same team, and then you come back and pick up the next two, and then you proceed to sweep the Red Sox. There's probably a lot of caveats you can probably nitpick here and there, but um, whew, man, the vibes were really good. The vibes are really, really good right now. So let's hopefully they got more to keep giving, but maybe they come back down to earth a little bit, but just incredible across the board. Really this entire lineup is just looking good. There's just so many positives to take away from it. Altuve, I mean, who is this guy? He's being selective. He's um drawing walks left, right, and center. I think in this 7 game stretch he has like 8 or 9 walks. I just had it pulled up. Like, good lord, 8 walks. Who is this guy? And I think in the past, and I've kind of, if you go look at like plate discipline stats, and if you just watch the games, they're just being incredibly aggressive in the past, and so there's glimpses of that early on, but now, especially with Altuve, he's being far, 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 far more selective. Again, plate discipline, chase rate percentage. He has the lowest chase rate on the team. Like what? So this is 26. Go back to 25. Let's see. 30. I mean 38. Just obviously low sample size, but if you just go back and again, if you just watch and just know Altuve, he's generally been very aggressive. But this is telling us that he's being far far more selective, chasing pitches out of the zone, and he's even holding up a little bit on pitches that are in the zone. Right, he's just looking for his pitch, and especially early on. Personally, I mean, you don't want to see your guys working hard, especially starting rotation. You want your guys to be efficient pitch count wise, and you want to tax theirs. You want them to have long at bats and pitching more. And so in a way, I think those are wins, even though your guys may not be producing, if it's a long at bat, I consider that, hey, that's a great at bat. You're trying to get to their bullpen quicker, and when you have someone like Altuve that's doing that, I think I think some of it gets contagious, and I think Espada has come out and said and preached that's what they want to do. I don't know why it took them so long to control counts, and I mean, just see as many pitches as you can. It doesn't hurt you, and just seeing a lot of pitches right now so far. I mean, good Lord, Cam Smith. Before I get too down a rabbit hole, I'll just keep going down the looking at this lineup. But again, Altuve looking fantastic, finding his hits, getting on base, causing traffic. Jordan is just coming out of the gates hot. Hitting the absolute shit out of the balls and just already collecting home runs. It feels like he's just nabbing a home run every game, and it's tough for these pitchers. Like, they're just stressed the hell out having to pitch to him, trying to pitch around to him, and because Jordan is just such an elite hitter, and he's not going up there and just swinging like crazy, and he's healthy and he's confident, like, he is putting incredible at bats. And then behind him, shout out to the surplus. I'm so glad they did not trade Paredes. I know there's going to be this weird situation now that Pena, I think, is just about back full time. He was kind of in and out one game, the next, which I'm totally fine with. Paredes is coming out great. Unfortunate that we're gonna have to not see him every game, but winning cures all, and when you have guys that are doing well across the board and you're having a hard time who to put in because they're both doing well, that's not a bad thing at all to have. Paredes he isn't being lights out as far as some of the surface level stats, such as batting average, right? 227 early, 6 strikeouts. He might lead top 3 in strikeouts. Granted, not every day in the lineup, but I counter that with how many pitches he's seen, 124, and that's changed because I think in the first series, or maybe first series and the first game with the Red Sox, he had seen the most pitches with like 94. So you put someone like that behind Jordan, it's just two absolutely stressful back-to-back at bats. So again, even though he's not being cerebral on the at the plate, like I love seeing him go up there, work pitch counts, foul it out, and make these guys work deeper. And then you turn around and go to someone like Correa in the 4 spot. Correa just being absolute stud of a situational hitter. He came up with really big situational RBIs throughout this game. I think it was this one where I can't remember the other baseman that they had, and then Crochet hits Jordan. Was not great, and then Correa works the count and absolutely pulls a nuke to the Crawford boxes. Just like incredible, because again, in seasons past, it feels like those opportunities are squandered, and man, it's just good to see this dude back. And I think that leadership is starting to spread, and you see him go up to the mounds again, especially some of these younger guys, having him play it short. Again, made some incredible plays, and just the vibes are up, and he's just doing his thing. Christian Walker, though, I've been saying it to those that I talked baseball with, at work or wherever with some friends, and I've been saying this dude's going to bounce back. And every single time now this dude's getting a hit, I'm like, oh, it's Christian Walker comeback season. Dude has been a freaking stud, man. Absolute stud. Let's see. Again, just surface level stats, but I mean, dude's batting 320 so far. I think he's leading in doubles for the team. Yep. Um, just awesome stuff. But he's also producing like in big spots. Um, with some RBIs. He collected one here. Let's just see. What am I looking for? But yeah, collecting RBIs in big time spots. I think he had an RBI almost damn near every single game. He did in the Boston series. I mean, shoot, this guy's he's on a run right now. I think outside of the yeah, he's on like a 4 a 5 game. Yeah, so since what a coincidence when the 5 game win streak they're on, Walker has been a part of all of those in a big way with some RBIs. So just pumped. I hope we keep seeing this from him, and having someone in the middle of the lineup and someone bounce back like that is just massive, massive, massive. So I'm just so excited to see him, and he's absolutely hitting the shit out of the ball. Hard hit percentage. I think I remember seeing this earlier. Yeah, number 10 hard hit balls. He's just hitting the absolute crap out of the ball. Boom, boom. Just every game, he's in the mix up there. Okay, well I say that and then he's not anymore, but you get the idea. Just hitting the crap out of the ball. So I'm just so pumped to see Walker start bouncing back again. Obviously, with all these guys, and this entire discussion is, small sample size, but hopefully you keep carrying this with you on what's to come. Cam Smith, my God, just taking that next step. I think another dude that isn't jumping off the page stat wise, 217, but I mean, are you kidding me? It's second year and he's seeing the most pitches. Kind of the same thing with Paredes, but he's working great. He's working great counts and he's getting on base. And this is one of your guys that you get some speed on the base and start threatening some steals. So even though he's not jumping off the page offensively with the bat, he's still finding ways to get on the plate and again working counts at the bottom of your lineup, no less. Um, and some of these, I mean, he was six there, but he was a little bit deeper. Well, no, I guess we are. He's roughly in the middle lineup. I guess this is what I was thinking of. Anyways, um, young stud just working that those counts is incredible. Um, so obviously everything can't be super great. Myers, he's had flashes, but he's kind of on the back end of who's been doing fantastic. I think he has the worst OPS on the team. Um, yeah, not great, but Jake has he brings the defense in center field, and we've seen some defense out there with Bryce and some of those plays. I'm pretty sure Jake would make. So you know, not ideal, but it's kind of I think what you might have expected with Jake Myers coming in, keeping the center field for the defense, and you're not going to get the best offense, but totally not mad at it when your 1 through 6 is absolutely just cooking. So, but yeah, like always, we'll see how Jake plays out and the rest of this outfield in general. Um, Matthews and Loperfido have been kind of traded in and out depending on the matchup. Both have been seeing different success in their own ways. Loperfido's jumped out hot. He was the only hitter in the first 2 series in the Angels. Um, you know, not mad at all with Loperfido so far in when he's had to come in. Let's see. Because I think he has a pretty high swing rate still. Nope, never mind. What was it that I was looking for? I think it's a swing and miss, yeah. Or, no, that's swing, not whiff. Well, yeah, he's still doing a lot of swinging. Strikeout percentage, you hope he kind of brings that down, but he's definitely jumping at that ball early and finding some success. So, how many walks? See. Not really. One of the comebacks that he was involved in was big. Which one was it? I think it was the Angel series. Can't remember which one. I think it was. Okay, yeah. I think it was this one where he pitch hit and there was a bit of a. Well, whatever. Again, I wasn't gonna dive too. Wasn't planning on diving too deep in that, but again, not mad at all with what we're seeing from Lopefito. Bryce Matthews, rookie coming up and hasn't been jumping off the stat pages, but he's honestly working really great counts, and he hit a big home run. I think he hit the longest home run, just like center left all the way to the gas pump that sits out there in the standing area. I think it was that game. Yeah, just holy cow. Just absolutely put a nuke out there. So we'll keep seeing how Matthews looks. I think they're all contributing in their own way. And again, this is the bottom of your lineup, so we'll see how it looks. And I don't want to jump to conclusions yet on how I feel about it, but doing a lot more than nothing, that's for sure. And then Vasquez, who I'm saying Vasquez and not Yiner, because Yiner has looked like crap. He's probably the biggest negative so far. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. I do not know what Yiner's deal is. It's not looking good. But luckily you have Vasquez. You have the veteran. So if it really gets worse and worse, at least you have someone like that to fall back to. The only hit that Yiner got was during this rally that the Astros were having against the Angels, and just a lot of strong bad defense together from the Angels. So, yeah, glad to see they're putting Vasquez in there a little bit more. Granted, off days for Yiner maybe, but I mean Vasquez hits a home run. So yeah, but that's some good stuff. Some good stuff to say the least. Try not to get too hyped up. Let's not get too high, get too low. But things are looking really good. So real quick before we jump into looking forward to this next home stretch, the 4 points I was looking for. Number one, the offense. Hey, they showed up. Boy, did they show up! Holy cow! Helping out their pitching and not have too much stress on them, and their bullpen can come in or their starters can come in and kind of be a little bit more relaxed, not feel like they need to get too taxed. But what I really like to see is they are not hitting a whole lot of home runs right now, and I'm totally fine with that. The home runs primarily coming from Jordan and sprinkled in from some other guys, but this it feels very reminiscent back to the 2017, because it's this offense right now feels next man up, pass the bat to the next guy behind you and let them take care of business and do your job to find a way to get on base and put pressure on the team, cause traffic. And this traffic that's getting generated onto the bases, they're at least finding some guys to find their way in, but these guys are finding gaps, finding holes, and they're producing offensively. So just incredible to see, man. I'm totally fine with not having them prioritize slugging or the long ball home runs, but they're chipping away with a lot of doubles, especially Walker. Like if anyone would have thought going into this opening 7 games that Walker would be leading the team with doubles and having a 320 batting average, like no way. So offense absolutely on a tear right now. Again, we'll see what it looks like coming back. So point number 2 is does the team look sharp? How are they look? Do they look focused? And I mean, just the general vibe. And the vibes have been fantastic. Even on the first 2 games, as far as the team goes, it was fine. Vibes on the fandom, which it's baseball fans are going to be dramatic, and Astros fans are not. They're not the outlier in that. They are, if anything, probably just as bad, if not worse, because of probably how spoiled we've been with having a decade of a good baseball team. And those first 2 games was not fun to listen as people overreact and how long the season, regular baseball season is, and then how quickly that tune has changed on this 5-game winning streak. But that's baseball, I guess. I don't know. Um, but the vibes on the team, like they look like they're having fun. The interviews, you see Pena and Cam Smith kind of shooting the shit, making jokes in the back. And speaking of Pena, I realized I skipped over him because again, Pena's looked great. He's kind of doing this off and on since coming back from the injury. Spada putting him in sometimes one game and then sitting him the next, and then kind of doing that in a pattern. So I guess we'll get a little bit more of that. But Pena has, he's looking fine, and he's come up with some important at bats and swiping a bag or two. So. Yeah, but we'll see what happens when he starts to get healthy. But vibes are looking great, and they're not making silly mistakes, and the defense is looking incredible. So again, just kind of feels very reminiscent to how we what we got to enjoy in the past. So then point number 3, what does the lineup look like and this outfield? So far it's been pretty fluid, and winning cures all, and when your entire lineup almost is producing, there's just not much to really be upset about. So I guess that one's still kind of carrying along. I'll always will be carrying along, but Paredes played, I think, 3 positions in the first 4 games, and second, first, and third, and he's looked fine in all of them. Jordan getting some runway in left field for a good bit, so at home as it should be, and it frees up who you can put in there. So that looked good. Let's see what else. Loperfido and Matthews both have in their own way, kind of getting mixed around out there. Probably some balls that Matthews, it felt like he could have ran down, but then there's other times where he almost makes a crazy play in left field to throw someone out at second, but Story makes this crazy swim move to avoid the tag by Altuve. So um, we'll see, but that I think that's going to be an ongoing thing as the season plays out. But so far, I like the flexibility of being able to move these guys around and play in different positions. like to see a lot less Yiner, I guess, because he is not doing a whole lot. But other than that, and then number four for the pitching staff. Um, so yeah, the first go around for the pitchers not wasn't too great. Um, your first two by Brown are good. I mean, great, and the first go around with Hunter, not ideal, but high usage. But I think it bounces back pretty well for the second. Burrows gets kind of getting tagged up a lot in the first game, and but overall, I think it was similar to the second game. I think the difference in this one is there's a blemish in that second, because otherwise, if he finds his way out of this inning, then I think it's a much different outlook of the game of a 3-2 loss than a 6-2. But six strikeouts, so not an epic day from him to say the least. And then his second go around with the Red Sox, kind of similar, but he's finding his way out of the innings, and I think he settled down a lot more than he did in the first two innings, giving up some runs. So not upset at it in the least. Again, I think also to say with the pitchers as a whole, we'll see how it unfolds throughout the season, as we get further away from spring training and guys kind of get stretched out a little bit more. Um, so they put Javier in the third game. Not too great. Yeah, not great. A little concerning, but maybe I don't know. We'll see how he comes a bit next go around, but not great to see from Javier. Definitely kind of getting banged up, and then also with Imai, not great. Really rough debut, only going 2 2/3, 74 pitches. The only thing with Imai is, hey, I think he's doing a lot of adjustments. I'm sure there's a lot of like opening jitters, and so we'll give him some grace. See how he looks like, because he does look like he has some good stuff. But again, we'll see. But not great. And then when you go into the opener series against the Red Sox, Sam McCullers like, hey, just the expectations for McCullers was just keep it competitive, I'm sure, but my God, just going in there performing the way he performed was just stellar. And I don't know if this is the outlier, but I think if you can just get half of this, if you can just have McCullers take you to like 5 and just keep it close, and especially this offense is going to give you something. That's more than you can ask for. But right now he is coming out hot. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Bullpen wise, standout wise, AJ Blueball might be my favorite pitcher ever. My lord, he came in and just absolute bull and just getting after dudes. So I'm super excited for more blue ball. Brian King has been great. Weiss came in and just got after it after I think it was McCullers' run. So yeah, Tang's looking good. So yeah, I think hard to say with the pitchers right now, but we'll see as the season progresses here. But yeah, moving forward to this next couple series, a long away stretch. 3 games against the A's, 3 games against the Rockies, and then 3 games against Seattle. A's have been a thorn in the side of the Astros, so we'll see how that goes. And then Rockies don't look great. You gotta get those, and then we'll see how they look against the Mariners. The people that many people have over the Astros. So we'll see a lot of the similar stuff, but just a lot of good stuff kind of going for them right now and riding a high. Hopefully they keep that wave going. So yeah, maybe a little bit of rambling, but you want to come in and touch base on that. Super excited for how it's going right now. So let's keep the good times going and feeling that this nostalgia, feeling like it's 2017 is actually here to stay in 26. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Y'all take it easy. Let's go Stros.